Okay, boys and girls, today we are going to be learning about the Southwest region. Yesterday, we took a look at the Midwest. Today, we're going to be at the Southwest. And before we start reading, remember that we're going to use the map on page 21 as a resource for us. And you can go ahead and color in the Southwest region. So if we look here, I see this group of states here, and I'm going to color it in right here on my map using the correct color according to the map key. So make sure that you do that. Let's go ahead and start reading. When you think of the Southwest, you probably think of deserts and hot weather. That's because the Southwest is known for its hot, dry climate. But if you were to travel throughout the region, you'd want to pack mittens and an umbrella too. The Southwest can be cold and snowy, especially in the Rocky Mountains. It can also be warm and rainy near the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, before I read on, I hear a lot of words that we need to underline or highlight about the climate. So I see hot, dry climate. But then I also heard that in different states and different places, the weather might be different. So I saw cold and snowy. And it's important to know that that's especially in the Rocky Mountains. Once you get up to the mountains, it gets cold and snowy in that high elevation. It can also be warm and rainy. And it's important to know where it's warm and rainy, so near the Gulf of Mexico. So depending on where you travel, the climate changes. Vegetation. Many different types of vegetation grow in the Southwest. Most of the plants that live in the region's deserts can survive in sandy soil and on a limited amount of water. The saguaro, a giant cactus found in the Southwest, stores water in its trunk. It has a thick, tough skin and can survive the long, dry season. Wildflowers do well in areas that get more water. Pine trees grow well in the region's colder climates. So again, as we read, we see that there's different types of vegetation depending on the climate. So we saw that the saguaro, which is a giant cactus, is found in the desert areas. We saw that wildflowers do well in areas that get more water. And then the pine trees grow up in those high elevations where the region is colder. Next, we're going to read about landmarks. The Southwest is also home to the Grand Canyon. This canyon is one of our country's most famous natural landmarks. The canyon is very deep, has steep sides, and stretches for 277 miles. It was formed by the Colorado River over thousands of years. One of the largest dams ever built in the United States, the Glen Canyon Dam, is also in the Southwest. This man-made landmark generates electricity that powers several states in the region. So we just read about some landmarks. We read about the Grand Canyon, which is a natural landmark. And then we read about the Glen Canyon Dam, which was built by man, so this is man-made. Okay, now before I move on to the next page, I want to read our task right here. It says, write captions for the pictures. Remember, a caption is a nonfiction text feature that tells us what the photographs are showing. So I want you to look at these pictures, and I see that this picture here is showing me what the saguaro cactus looks like. And then this picture here is in the landmark section, and this is showing us the Glen Canyon Dam. And it's kind of hard to see in the print, but just find a good spot to write it. Okay. And then I finished that, so I can check that off. Number 2 says underline why the Glen Canyon Dam is important to the Southwest. So we want to go back in the passage and find what it says about why the Glen Canyon Dam is important. So I know this sentence here is talking about the Glen Canyon Dam, and it says, one of the largest dams ever built in the United States, the Glen Canyon Dam, is also in the Southwest. This man-made landmark generates electricity that powers several states in the region. That is why it is important, because it generates electricity that gives several states power. Okay, moving on to natural resources. The Southwest has several important natural resources too. Minerals such as copper, silver, and uranium are mined from the ground. Another natural resource of the Southwest is oil. Workers drill deep into the earth and pipe oil up to the surface. Texas, the largest state in the Southwest, produces more oil than any other state in the country. So I see that the natural resources are minerals, and some examples of them are copper, silver, and uranium. And I see another natural resource is oil. Okay, now my task for this page, like we've been doing with all the other regions, is to label the states in the Southwest. So we're going to label these states, and remember you can refer back to the map on page 21 to do that. When you're done, give that a check. And then number 2 is, in which direction would you travel to get from Glen Canyon Dam to Wheeler Peak? So look on the map. We find Glen Canyon Dam. And if we start there and we want to travel to Wheeler Peak, which direction would we travel? Remember, you can look at your compass rose to help you remember which direction you're going to go, and write the name of the direction that you would travel right here. Then when you're done, go ahead and check it off. Your last task for this region is to fill in the graphic organizer. You've been doing such a great job all week of doing this. Remember, you're going to use the information from your reading to fill out the vegetation section, the landmarks, the natural resources, and the climate.